to talk about how to create a support system in those times of overwhelm. Especially right now, as this video is being recorded, it's kind of like the Christmas holiday season, and the overwhelm, the vibe is like over the top. So, first things first, I'm going to check to make sure I'm in the right places and that, like, we can hear ourselves, maybe, without it being all wonky. So if you can hear me, let me know in the chat. Okay, I think it's all right. Okay, I'm going to be completely honest and say that this is a struggle for me. And if it's a struggle for me, I'm guessing it's a struggle for you. I almost didn't even do this video because, like, I was like, I don't know, like, that's a hard one for me. Maybe I don't want to talk about it. But then I'm also like, if it's a struggle for me, it's probably a struggle for you. And let's just get into it and be vulnerable and also share knowing that, like, you're not alone. Okay. So the reason this is hard for me is because I think that we as working moms take in all the stuff. We put all the to-do lists, we do all the managing, right? And so then it gets overwhelming and we don't know what to do about it. One, because when you're in a state of overwhelm, it's really hard to think and actually process and plan and all of that stuff. Like, you don't even know where to begin. Two, I don't know if this is with you, but I have struggled with asking for help in the past, cancel clear. And it's something I'm working on. And so when we feel like we're in overwhelm, we don't even know how to help ourselves and we don't know how to ask for help because we don't actually really know what we need. Okay, does that sound familiar? Let me know in the comments if you're like, yeah, that's me. And I think it's like this idea that we're supposed to be like, take it all in and take it in stride, right? That we're not supposed to, like, we're super moms and we're supposed to be able to handle it all. And we have work and kids and, side passions and sports and all the things and holidays and Christmas shopping and decorate the tree and all the things that go with that. And, like, just be able to handle it, right? And so what happens is usually what we do to support ourselves kind of goes out the window, or we don't even know where to find that support system. So let's dig into it. I'm going to take a drink of coffee. And as I talk, I'm going to oil up because I haven't done that today. And I need a little extra. All right, I'm looking at my notes here. So if I look off screen, that's why. So the first thing that I do or I'm working on, like I said, I struggle with this. And so I'm like, okay, I've worked through kind of what helps me. Okay. I refuel. I wouldn't say I'm an introvert because I'm kind of half and half, whatever it's called, ambivert. But one of the things that I realize is when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I really do like my alone time. And there's reasons for that. So kind of the first thing to do is to create space for yourself to reflect and tap into your inner presence, right? Whether that's your inner child, your inner thought processes, right? Because a lot of times when we're feeling overwhelmed or we have all these things on our plate, that's the first thing to go, right? I don't have enough time in the day, so my morning routine is gone, right? That was something I did for a while and I'm bringing it back because I'm noticing that when I don't do those things, when you don't create space for yourself to just like quiet your mind, quiet your body and relax, that affects all of those other areas of life, right? And so when we can create space for ourselves to like sit and process and reflect, all those other tasks that are keeping us in overwhelm become a lot easier, and like we can work through them faster. So sometimes we think, I don't have time for that. However, taking the time to do that actually saves time in the long run. Let me know if that makes sense for you. Okay. So create the space, whether it's, 20 minutes right after you get out of work, right? Like mommy's time out, or put it in the schedule. Like, this is the time that I have to like reflect, be mindful. Maybe that's the time that you list out all of those things that are causing overwhelm and kind of work through those feelings and like, okay, where do I start? So that's the first one, because this leads to the other two. Okay, so really being mindful about creating that space. The next one is to look around at like your husband and your immediate family, right? Like your kids and kind of whoever's in your house, and think about what's working well, maybe what needs to be tweaked. Where can you adjust schedules? Where can you ask for help? Okay. Now, I get it. When we're feeling overwhelmed, it's like, I don't even know what kind of help I need right now. That's where the creating space comes in. When you create space, you can say, okay, here's all the things on my mind. Here's all the things causing overwhelm. Here's what I want to get done. Here's what I feel like needs to get done. Here's where I feel like I'm dropping the ball. And then you can pinpoint and say, okay, what can I ask for help with? Maybe where do I need to have my kids step it up? What do I need? What can I ask my husband for help with? Maybe it's even the creating the space, right? Like, I need 20 minutes to myself. Make that happen. And then, like, what can you delegate, right? Because we take on all these things and then it's like, oh, I actually don't necessarily need to be in charge of that. But we don't know that because we just take it all in, take it all in, take it all in until we're in like sensory overload, right? Okay. So the third one is, who outside of family can be that support system for you, like outside your household family. So maybe that is like, a lot of times I talk with my sisters, right? Shout out, ladies. um, or maybe it's your best friend, right? Maybe it's family members. Maybe, though, it's not family members, or maybe it's not necessarily your in person friends because you're feeling like they don't have the same interests as you or that they won't understand, right? But find someone outside of that circle of your immediate family. Like, it's good to get an outside perspective and reach out and share, right? Because that you're not alone. And I think sometimes we feel like, oh my gosh, I'm the only one. Everyone else has their life together and I'm like falling apart over here. And that's simply not true. It's just we're not always open to that, like sharing that we're falling apart. And I get it. Like, that's uncomfortable conversations to have. So another option is to like get into the online space, right? Those communities that are out there that have your interests or your needs or your area, right? Or you need just that, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I just need some permission from strangers. I don't know. Are people who get me, right? I just need people who get me and where I'm at this stage of life. And so if you're looking for the one of those, you don't have it, you can hop into my community. The link is in the description, right? Come in, check it out, see if it's a good fit. If it is, fantastic. If not, no big deal. You can always like unjoin the group. No hard feelings. But find something, right? And I know the Facebook group deal, it's like, I get into my mom groups and they're all judgmental and I can't say anything and I can't be vulnerable. That's just not the right group for you, right? I can attest that there are Facebook groups out there that have really positive and beautiful and vulnerable and supportive communities. Some of the people that I talk to the most, like more than my own family, have come from those online communities, and I've never even met them in person. Just going to put that out there. All right. That's how you start to build that support system, right? Create space, figure out where you can lean on in your immediate family or at home, and then that outer circle of like, who can I talk to outside of my immediate family and get support from? Okay. The last thing that I'm just going to mention, and I don't know if this is a part of the support system or if this is part of like that creating space and the reflection, but a big portion for me of dealing with overwhelm and trying to support myself, because I do that. I'm like, it's all on me, right? I have to do it for myself. Not true, but that's a mindset that lingers, right? So one thing that is also really helpful, that's maybe not a part of the support system, but I want to throw it out there anyways, is when you're creating your space and you're doing your reflection and things like that, think about what can you let go of? What expectations do you need to let go of? What are some of those things that seem like they're, really important, but maybe they're not, right? What are some things in your environment that you're like, okay, just let that go? For me, it's usually expectations. What expectation am I holding on to, right? Especially around the holiday. What expectation, what tradition, what idea am I holding on to that really I can just let go? Right. All right. I just felt like I needed to say that last little bit. You guys have the best day. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I hope to see you